I walked right under. Didn't even break.
Hey, we got first viewer of the night. Just started the stream a couple minutes ago. Congratulations on being first. I'll tell you what you win later. Got a nice moon out there, nice crescent moon. Getting ready to dump. Well, this field's 137 acres. We've ran maybe 40 or 50 acres of it so far. It's got a 229 bushel to the acre average at the moment. At 24% moisture is what I have it at. So that's kind of what's happening here. We already got it opened up. I am not able to make very good ground speed tonight. Just pulling in way too much trash, and the corn leaves are probably getting a little damp. So I'm moving pretty slow tonight. I don't know how late we will run tonight, but from what I've heard, we're able to run as late as we want. That can be dangerous with us. Sometimes we'll work all night, but I doubt we'll do that tonight. I thought I had a serious breakdown earlier today. When we first got to this field, my clean grain elevator beeped at me on the monitor. It's not going fast enough, and I could hear the slip clutch going off. So I thought for sure this auger, let me spin around here, that this auger that's dumping the grain in there, I thought for sure the U-joint broke in that auger, but obviously it didn't. We have no idea why all of a sudden it came to a screeching halt, but I let a little bit of corn out of the elevator and came back up at the cab and bumped it, and it started working. So it's kind of a mystery because everything looks fine. All the belts look fine.
It pops off, is pretty good. Yeah, I could use a little more. Right.
So yeah, that was one of those things where I was like bummed because I thought I'd be going back for another major repair. Then in the back of my mind, I was thinking, hey, that'd make another good YouTube video. But thankfully, it was nothing. It was something kind of weird. For those of you who don't know, I'm in a Gleaner S98. The other combine's an S97. We both run 8-row heads. He has a Gearbox head, and so he's able to go fast. I have the Gleaner Command 3308. Trash. Don't ever buy one. More than likely I will stream, I don't know, I guess it depends on how long or how many people are watching. Earlier we had a lot of good conversation going in the first stream today, so I may go an hour like I did earlier if people are talking and watching. I'm only moving at 3 miles an hour right now. I don't know if you could hear it a second ago. I was powered out. Now I'm not, but every time I try to push it, it powers out. So if you watch my head, you can see all the leaves that go in. That's kind of the cause of that. That's why I don't like this head. If you've been watching and following my stuff, you probably already know that. Try to get a good view of the other combine for you. See if you can see his underglow lighting. He's usually flashing all sorts of colors underneath. Looks pretty cool at night. See, I'm powering out again. I can barely see it in person, so I don't know if you're too far away right now, so maybe you won't be able to see it. I'll show you when I get closer, and now you can see it on the camera. If I could ever catch up to him again, I'll show you a little better, but our trucks are across the ditch. I'll just give you an idea of what this field looks like. The trucks are parked right here. We're at right now. So the grain cart has to take all the corn out over the ditch and to the trucks. So it can be a oh, you're welcome. I appreciate that. I'm just doing my job. But yeah, it can make this this field kind of challenging, especially to take high yielding corn out of. The ditch is right over there. It is completely dry though right now. Some years, by full I mean, I don't know, 1.5 feet deep of water, maybe 2 foot. So I'm just driving over to our next chunk of corn over here. That's the way we harvest our cornfields. We split it. The number of rows that we leave are, it varies. It kind of just depends on the size of the field or the length of the passes we're doing. I would guess we just did like a 64 row split maybe there. We just finished up, so one of us will be splitting the field again when we get to the back. And we do that so that our augers are always facing outward and the grain cart can kind of stay in the middle. That way we're always able to dump whenever we need to. guess I don't know for sure, but I might have ran the last 8 over there. Pretty sure.
There's 8 right here. I don't know if it's any shorter, almost 50 8 or shorter when you just go.
Yeah, I guess I was wrong. I thought we were all out.
Keep your tires open, man.
I was busy looking at his underglow lights. I wasn't paying attention to what was next to me. My steering sensor's not doing very great tonight either. We farm 4,000 acres total. And that's split between wheat, soybeans, and corn. So we had 1,750 acres of corn this year. Almost exactly, 1,800 of soybeans, and the rest was wheat. Hey, Canada, all right, welcome. We have about 900 acres, under 900 now. When we started this morning, we had almost exactly 900 acres left to go in our harvest. If you want to see some of our soybean harvest, I made long form videos of that. Just go to my channel, you'll see plenty of videos on there. There's another one being uploaded right now of when I repaired my rotor gearbox on this combine just last week. We're a little behind on videos right now, but I try to get one out, you know. I try to put something out almost every day. Okay, just starting corn up there, huh? People have been running corn here in Michigan for, shoot, I don't know, 3-4 weeks now. We started our corn a little later than a lot of guys. We were letting ours dry down a little more. So it just kind of depends, you know, on the farmer and what hybrids they planted. And climbing a hill right now. So was yours the last 8 then?
Yeah, I've got the last 8.
Okay, I'm gonna have to stop to dump. We are out of our split. So that means I'm gonna have to count some rows, and when I do that, I may have to put the phone down. Maybe. So if my screen kinda goes up at the ceiling for a little bit, that's why I'm gonna set it down while I count. I don't know, 64 or 80. Okay, yeah, I am in Michigan. It's a small town called Lake Odessa. It's right in the middle of Lansing and Grand Rapids. So we're basically west of Michigan. That's right where we're at right now. So yeah, Detroit is, I don't know, 2.5 hour drive, I guess, for me. This hybrid's running 24%. It's either 23 or 24. I'm not going to say my monitor's exact. earlier today, the hybrid we were running was like 21, 22, right in there. So it's drying down pretty good now. A week ago, we had a lot of 25, 26 corn. So yeah, it's definitely drying down. But okay, I'm going to count. I'll try to keep the phone up. So if you end up looking at my ceiling, it's because I set my phone down so I can count. And I don't want to miscount, really. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 30, 30, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 2, 3, 4. So I need that bugger A, and I can actually see the gas rail there. So I didn't have to count after all. The GPS we use when we plant is pretty accurate, so I never count on being able to find a gas rail because a lot of times you can't. And I have to count out loud, otherwise I lose track. So Caledonia, yeah, that's not very far from me. We have a son that goes to Byron Center schools. Has been very slow on drying down. Okay. Yeah, I haven't been over that way in, I don't know, a few weeks. We go over through Caledonia a lot. As I said, our son goes to Byron Center. So we go over there for sports, and but we've been in harvest, so I haven't been over there myself in a little while. Yes, this is a Gleaner S98. And the one over there is an S97. It is not sandy ground. We have pretty heavy soils where we're located. We don't use any irrigation.
Might get worse as we go north.
Our little pocket of farmland, for the most part, is pretty heavy soils, which is good, but on wet years it can be a pain. And we have a lot of rocks. That's probably the downside to our area, but they're pretty fertile land here. I know it would be blurry, so you probably can't read it because my phone don't like to focus on that. But we're carrying a 230 average is what we got on this farm right now. Yeah, I don't know why I think Caledonia is a popular name. So maybe you're not speaking of the same Caledonia I was just speaking about. But there is a Caledonia, Michigan, not very far from where I live. Everybody has a Caledonia. Excuse me. So I apologize if that was confusing. Okay. Do you guys irrigate since it's sandy or no? Okay, John, yeah. I seen you commented the other day, John. I'm not sure as if I know you or not, but I may. Yeah, the old R66. I probably ran that machine that you're speaking about. Either me or my brother. Hopefully she's still a good machine for you. So no irrigation, okay. Now you get a little north of where we are. You know, there is some irrigation, and to the west of us, like in the Caledonia area here in Michigan, there's some guys over there that use irrigation as well. So it's not the entire west Michigan area that is heavy soils, just kind of the pocket we live in. It's all pretty heavy. Where our main home farm is, when they first settled that area, I guess I was reading a history book about it, and they said it was kind of a worthless swamp area back in the 1800s when they settled there. That'd be the Woodbury, Michigan area. I guess they said it was a swamp back in the day, and I believe that. There's some good muck areas in there. We have 0 pivots here, guy, but yeah, the people I'm talking about that do use irrigation, like near us, yes, they run pivots. Yeah, I'm getting confused on the whole Caledonia thing. I don't know if anyone watching is from actual Michigan, Caledonia, Michigan, but that's where I'm at, is in Michigan. I don't live in Caledonia, but near it. How many hours? Let's see. Probably been sitting in the seat for about 12 hours now. Pretty close to it anyways. And we'll probably end up in it for 14 to 16 hours if I had to guess, by the time we quit. Hey, thanks. Is that Wayne? Sorry, my eyes are bad. Thanks for that compliment. I will keep going, and as long as people watch and as long as people keep subscribing, I will keep going, and the channel will probably just keep getting better the more people that subscribe. I'll add, you know, stuff to it like drones and maybe some better cameras at some point. I really want to be able to figure out how to live stream better, not just on my phone. I was talking about that earlier today, so I won't go into detail again for the people that already seen it, but the old R52, yeah, I remember that combine well. Up in the corner, like up here, they had the tattletale system. Told you when you had something going wrong. Alright, there's a Michigan guy, Mount Pleasant. Yep, been there. Should be done with corn, done with harvest by the end of the week. Well, good for you. Yeah, Steve, I definitely agree with you. We were pretty dry here as well. We always had just enough rain to stay out of drought conditions, but I did not expect these yields coming into harvest. Our soybeans, we carried like I think it was a 64 bushel average farm-wide on our soybeans. Didn't expect that. We had a pretty dry August. And our corn yields are good also. We're carrying over a 200 bushel average corn, so did not expect that, Steve. So I agree with you. And we are hoping to be done in about a week as well with our harvest. But time will tell. L3, I've never ran an L3, but I've seen one. My uncle has an E. It's, doesn't have a cab on it. 40s, yeah. I mean, I didn't think we'd be that low, Steve, but I wouldn't have been shocked to be more like in the low 50s to mid 50s is kind of what I was thinking. And we're gonna have to stop for a second. Both combines are full. That'll probably happen quite a bit in this field because the grain cart has a good amount of travel to the trucks here. But yeah, that's too bad, Steve. It happens. We've all been there. Next year will be the year though, right? We've had 2 poor soybean seasons in a row on our farm. So this year, we were pretty pumped. We've been dealing with some white mold issues on our farm. So to mitigate that, we've kind of switched to some 30-inch row beans. And yeah, I think that did pan out for us a little bit. Yeah, I don't know exactly where you're at, John, but I know you're in my area at least. Yeah, it's variable, obviously, as is everything. Like I said, I know up in Ionia.
Kind of a washout already.
Yep, got a washout. Thanks for letting me know, green cart guy. So I'm gonna let him by. See how much higher his cart got than my auger. Dealer network. Well, it depends on what you want. Yeah, I mean, there's John Deere dealers in our area. There's the Fendt dealer, AGCO, they're about, 10 miles from us, maybe 12, something like that. And then the place we get our gleaners is also about the same distance. So yeah, I'd say so. Nothing's too far from us, really. We're pretty lucky right in our spot with dealerships and end users. For our crops, we have an ethanol plant that all our corn goes to. Our soybeans go a little further away, but they go to Zealand Farm Services. They crush them. They do different stuff with their soybeans, but they're a big outfit. So we're pretty just lucky, I guess, in our area. Yep, very long day, Ron. We get used to it, though. We've been doing this, pretty much our entire lives. As most farmers, it's not something you just start doing, typically. And as you get older, it gets easier, I feel like, because time just passes faster, and the more times you do something, the easier it gets. Really? You get white mold in the sand. Okay, I'd have to think about that. ADM, yep.
So you got a more.
Yeah, I agree with you, John. Good for you, and glad you had a good yield. Pleasantly surprised, right? The grain elevator that my dad and my uncle bought, that we kind of run now, that was an old ADM plant. That's who we bought it from. Back in 2001. Man, you can just hear that hammering through my rotor. This Gleaner command head is just not very good. I don't mean to keep bringing that up, but man, you just sit in here and stew over it. I have more horsepower with my combine than he does in that one, and he goes to me because he has a better head. So it's just really irritating. Yeah, it'll come back around, John, I think. Once I get some stuff straightened out. I try not to stress over it anyways. Things always work themselves out somehow. You guys dry in Ohio? No? I thought I've seen from some other YouTube guys. I know last year you guys had a heck of a drought. Maybe not the whole state, but he's coming back for more. I should have just left my auger out. Yeah, probably will be next year. Be better. The way I kind of viewed it, is we'd probably have one for sure, if not two down years, and then things will turn around. It's kind of the way I viewed it, but maybe it'll be quicker than that. Never know. That's above all of our pay grades, I think. I maybe put a little too much on you. Just turn carefully. Yeah, okay, Jay. I thought you guys were dry down there in Ohio, but wasn't positive. Probably always depends on the specific area too. But yeah, I mean, we were dry up here too. Man, can you hear that hammering through? You'd think I was running soybeans, like tough soybeans. But yeah, we just kept lucking out with the rain, just getting enough in our area to avoid being in drought status. But we were borderline all growing season, essentially. And I'll be honest, I haven't talked to a lot of other farmers in our area, so I don't know if everybody's, having good luck too. But I would kind of assume so. There's a lot of good farmers in our area, so. I don't think it's just us by any means. We plant Bex seed, so these are... it's not telling me the hybrid for some reason. It just says corn on my monitor. It was saying it earlier, but I can't remember which number this is. You can pass me again. I'm gonna let my brother by. There's no reason for both of us to be going slow. Just finished in Indiana. That's good for you guys. Hopefully you had a good harvest down there. Yeah, check out his lights. That's an S97 Gleaner. I'm in a Gleaner S98. The S97, he just put those underglow lights on there when we started this year. I'm surprised the corn stalks haven't ripped them off, but they're still on there.
I thought you might have a little better luck here tonight. This plant isn't so robust.
Well, yeah, there for a while, it seemed like, you know, there wasn't many leaves on, but now I feel like it's more leafy again. This patch right here, though, doesn't look too bad. But yeah, I don't know, whatever. I'm struggling again.
I think on this pass we're running 5332. I'm not. Pass we're running 4990.
Okay, that's what I was trying to think of. 4990 is the hybrid on that side. This is 5413, I think you said over here.
Got it. Either way, it's leaky down in this low ground.
Yeah. How do you like your John Deeres? Moisture is 23%, 24, right in there. And if you're wondering why I let him pass you, or pass me, because you have maybe just joined, my Cornhead takes in way too much trash. He has a Gearbox that does not. So I sit here and struggle while he doesn't. I'd have to look there, guy. I have not looked on my phone hardly at the markets at all recently. On next year's corn acres? Or are you talking corn stalks? Our tillage program kind of is high-speed tillage. We have a Pottinger, high-speed disc. We'll be doing all of our soybean stubble for corn next year. And then I usually pick like about 500 acres of our corn stalks to work in the fall, just to give me a good jump in the spring, because it helps it dry out in the spring. So that's kind of what we're doing there with our tillage. I usually try to think of which fields I want to start planting soybeans in. I do all the soybean planting. My brother plants all the corn. So for me on the soybean side, I just think of where I want to start with the rotation we're on, and I usually do about the first 500 acres that I think I'll plant first, and kind of get them corn stalks worked up a little bit in the fall. Then I hit it again in the spring. Okay. Yeah, I ran a Fent Ideal the other day with a 12 row that was the first experience I've ever had with a 12 row head personally. I really enjoyed it. I can see myself running a 12, but I don't know as if I'd put a 12 row on a gleaner personally. I know people that do. Although I'm moving about the same speed as I would be with a 12 row, so I might as well. I've already talked to my salesman though. He's finding me a Cornhead like his. And if he finds it tomorrow, I'm probably going to tell him to bring it out. Because I've had it. And then we run 35-foot heads, draper heads, and soybeans. 2 of them. Hey, thanks. You have a good night. Thanks for watching. Sometimes maybe mobile. Yeah, 30-inch corn rows. We've all started doing 30-inch beans as well. I have a Fendt Momentum planter, and on there I can split my rows anytime I want, like in a matter of, I don't know, 30, 40 seconds. So what I do with soybeans is I border the field 3 times with 15-inch rows, and I plant the main body in 30-inch rows. And then, yes, 30-inch corn rows. Got a sprayer track. Man, those sprayer guys really need to stay in their rows. Messes my auto steer up. And he's back. Skis, that's my cousin running grain cart. He's a hustler, man. He's all over the place. He's probably mad because I didn't have my auger out for him waiting. Yeah, I'm fighting this damn sprayer track the whole way. I don't know, we have something going on here. I'm gonna have to stop. Yeah, he planted around something right here. I'm not sure where we're at in this field yet. We must be getting close to one of those waterways that are over here. So now I gotta try to find my next 8 going back in. I don't think I have any. I'll just dump on him. Otherwise he's gonna chase me all over and I'm not sure where I'm at. I think I see my rows up there.
So if you want to keep going, I think I can see where you gotta go back in.
Yeah, I see it now. But that is no biggie. Could stretch my back anyways. Yeah, the beans, the 30-inch row beans do help on the white mold. The air can get down in there.
Yeah, I've seen what looked like rows ending, then it seemed like a sprayer track. And I didn't realize you were coming at me so fast last minute.
No, same here. I was fighting that sprayer track because it was right on my auto steer row, so I was like kind of fighting with that. And then I looked up and realized, oh shit, my rows are curving. We don't really like to stop, but whatever. Corey can top you off if you want. Yeah, there's something. I gotta recenter the map here on my. Yeah, see, that's what we're working around. That little waterway is what happened. Neither one of us really realized that's where we were at in the field. Of course, I'm distracted live streaming, and you know, in the grain cart, you don't always know where you're at either. So, 1, 2, 3. So it's gonna be right in here somewhere. Yeah, this is an 8-row head. Yep. We have 2 8-row heads. We use a 24-row planter with precision planting units on it. And then I also use precision on the bean side as well, on the momentum planter. So we do about as good of a job as you can do planting on both sides. I get a little frustrated with the precision stuff at times. All them sensors, all that technology. It's really cool, don't get me wrong, but I plant, it's a 15-inch row planter, split rows though, so I can go to 30s like I said. But you know, that's 32 units I have on that planter, and it's just a lot going on. So when the sensors and all that want to act up, I can battle that. When you have that many. You don't have that trash problem, huh? That's interesting. How new are your snapping rolls? Like the blades on your snapping rolls, I guess is what I'd be curious about. I'm on my 3rd season on these knives, and I kind of suspect that's why I'm struggling so bad. We were changing them out nearly every year, but we didn't like the price of them, so I said I'm going to try to run them another year, and so that might be part of the problem, but there's compared to the Geringhoff, I'm telling you, it's night and day difference. But yeah, I know it can be better if you have somewhat fresh knives on your snapping rolls. So I'd be interested in that, John, how new yours are. Because we've had 2 of these heads, and my brother, because of the same problem. Snouts, like underneath the plastics, that it can throw your gathering chain off and bend the guides. Like, we've had a lot of damage done. You know, like if it's wet out, like let's say you're running in the rain, like it just happened to me the other day. We've had a heck of a battle with it. And then it kind of, you know, might be a little hybrid dependent too. Like these are just really robust plants, like my brother said on the radio. Really leafy. Still has some green in it at times. Now, if all these leaves were off, I probably wouldn't be struggling at all. Yeah, okay. So you're probably still having decent luck. When they wear down, you will struggle more. But like like I was just saying though, if your hybrids that you're planting, like actually drop all their leaves, like you probably won't struggle like this. Like right here, I could probably push my speed because the corn isn't as robust right here. Although my auto steer went a little wonky. So yeah, I mean, it's a multi-faceted problem, I think. can't always just boil it down to one thing. But when you're sitting in this combine, you know, it's the biggest combine Gleaner makes, and you can only run corn at like, you know, 3.5 miles an hour. You get and I've tried any adjustment I can to, you know, mitigate it, and it just doesn't happen. Like if I adjust my concave anymore, like just to help stuff pass through, then I get a little more rotor loss, and you know, so you got to pick your poison. I was kind of talking about that with our dealer last night. Stuart, you probably know him. He said he has the same problem as well. But I mean, you can just see the pile I'm getting right here, you know, on the little step here. So I mean, they are kind of coming off as you run through, but a lot of it goes right in through your processor. And well, I appreciate that, guy. Thanks for subscribing. This is the first year I've had this channel. I've always thought about doing it, and then finally just decided, you know what, let's just give her a shot. And I think I'm getting better as I go too. Like I was saying earlier, if you were on here, as long as people keep watching and subscribing and all that, I will add stuff to it, like a drone, and get cameras in more people's hands so we can see different parts of the ocean. Yeah, and I'd also like to be kind of like a community. You know, we're having good conversation, like everybody to be friendly and talk farming stuff, and you know, just kind of country living type stuff. I named it the community Dirt Nation. I think that's kind of cool name. Me and my wife kind of came up with that. And I'll do like t-shirts and stuff like that eventually. And if nobody buys them, that's cool, but I'm gonna definitely get some made for myself anyways. Well, thanks. I know one's uploading right now from when I replaced the gearbox. Someone was asking about that earlier today. It might have been you, can't remember. But my rotor gearbox went out and I had to change it. The repair video from that day, I think it's already uploaded. I just haven't made it public yet, so I'll probably do that tomorrow, like around 5-6 o'clock my time, just because YouTube tells me that's a good time to release stuff, because that's when my viewers are on YouTube. So that's kind of how people decide like how they release their videos. You get a lot of analytics, a lot of feedback from YouTube. Hey, Liv. Yeah, it might be more north. I don't know. I'd have to look at a map. I couldn't tell you that off the top of my head. Sounds like you probably already know the answer to that. Isn't that kind of weird to think about? Yeah, we'll do something cool with some merch at some point. Like I said, even if no one ever wants it. Like, I watch a lot of YouTube, and I like watching live streams and like reading the live chats and all that, so you know, it makes it more of a community-based channel. That's kind of what I want it to be like. And that's kind of think we're off to a pretty good start. So you guys are all, whoever's watching and subscribing is all a part of it. So I'm guessing my wife and daughter are watching right now. But I think the channel has gained like 150 subscribers just today. I think because I'm doing the live streams. So I'm guessing people really enjoy watching these. I'm kind of surprised just because I'm just streaming from my phone. It's probably not the best quality. The Gearbox, no, it hasn't given me any more problems. I had two things happen, and if you've been watching the videos, you probably already know. Originally, it just fell off the side of my machine when I was running. And when we put it back on, we kind of assumed it was okay, because we spun it. And it sounded good, and it spun, and so we mounted it back up. And then after, like, I don't even think it made it a full day in the field, it went out on me, so we ended up putting a brand new one on, and since I did that, no more problems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Across this. It can be a little muddy across this usually, but it's been dry enough this year, not a problem. Alright. Man, my mom's watching. Yeah, apparently people really like live streams. I know I do personally. That's why I thought it'd be a good idea. Hope you're having a good drive to Texas, Mother. She's on her way to Texas for the winter. No, it was never hitting the cage. I don't know. When the last bolts broke off the gearbox, it must have just fell right out, right off the spline, and because it wasn't on the spline at all anymore. So I don't know. There was no other damage at all other than the gearbox itself. Which, honestly, it was kind of surprising. I guess got lucky. Still a giant pain in the butt. And pretty random. That's not something you expect to happen, to have your gearbox just fall right off the side of your combine. But it was entertaining, I guess, for YouTube. And now there's another waterway. That one's pretty rough, so we're not going to cross that one. This is what makes this field so challenging. There's multiple reasons, but there's a lot of different obstacles, waterways. Got the ditch. Got all sorts of stuff going on here. And I'm surprised I'm able to do all this one-handed. I need to get some sort of a mount for my phone when I do these live streams. Yeah, look for that repair video, the rotor gearbox video tomorrow. Around 5 or 6 o'clock Eastern time. Maybe I'll let it out a little earlier. I haven't seen it myself, but it's probably pretty good if I had to guess. Probably a good one to watch. Just letting the other combine pass behind me here quick before I spin around, so I don't back into them. Oh, now I see the green car. I was gonna say, I don't know where the green car guy's at though. Now I see him. He was also behind me. Down to freezing temps. I don't know if it is gonna freeze tonight. I don't think so. We had a really good frost 2 nights ago. Last night we had a mild frost, but I don't think it's supposed to tonight. But I honestly don't know for a fact. I have not looked at the weather today. I appreciate that, John. There's been a lot of people involved in that. A lot of different family members have been involved with this farm over the years. So I definitely can't take that credit. But we did grow up working on this farm, obviously, but started at a pretty young age running these combines. Us two, in particular, have ran them together, since we were, late teenagers, early 20s, on the regular. We each ran them earlier than that, but we got to run them pretty regular at a young age, and we're still going at it. Will we be doing tillage? Yeah, we will be. We already got a lot of our tillage done, but there's still more to do. So we will get more footage of that. We disc all of our, we use a high-speed disc. It's a Pottinger. We do all of our soybean stubble to prepare it for corn planting next year, and work in our fertilizer and stuff. And then, I was kind of explaining earlier, I usually pick like the first 500 acres or so where I plan on planting soybeans, and I hit all the corn stalks on that first 500 acres, because if we have a wet spring, It really helps it dry out, having that extra pass on it, because I do hit it again in the spring. But it helps me get started a little earlier than if I did not do that fall pass. So. Dang, Alabama, all right. Soybeans down there? Or what kind of beans are you raising? From Muscle Shoals, Alabama, okay. If it wasn't, I don't know, we're always a little torn on tillage. I would love to work every acre of corn stalks in the fall, but it's like, it just becomes too much tillage at that point. Indianapolis, welcome. All right. I don't know if I knew you guys were growing soybeans in Alabama. I guess I should have figured that, but. So yeah, I would love to work all the corn stubble. It makes your planting surface so much better when you hit it twice, once in the fall and once in the spring. But yeah, it's just too much tillage. The blades on that Pottinger aren't cheap, and we use that tool on all of our ground pretty much, so it covers a good 4,000 acres every year. So you can't keep doubling everything up. Just enough to get started. And it's mainly because we have these heavier soils right here. On a dry spring, it still is nicer, but it's not necessary to have that second pass. But if it's a wetter spring especially, I could get started a week earlier probably than everybody else, just because I did that fall tillage pass. Or, on that same piece of ground anyways. I shouldn't say faster, sooner than everybody else, but sooner than I would have. Triple R Farms, I don't think so. Kind of sounds vaguely familiar though. Man, that's going through so hard. Dang, that's a long career, John. Well, good for you, John. That's a lot of harvests. And yeah, I started about the same time, right around 10, 12 years old. I think the very first time I ever actually operated a combine, I believe I was like 10. But it was only, for like maybe an hour or two. I don't really remember. I kind of remember the day, though. Yeah, we love the Fendt tractors. The 1052 is absolutely amazing. It's so powerful. It's a beast, and it looks really cool. The tractor that's on the grain cart is a 936. That's my planting tractor. I really love that too. And then we have a 1042 as well. Jeez, oh Pete's. I mean, this corn's as tall as the cab, and I mean, just look at the plant itself. It's just an impressive corn plant. It's going through so hard. Yeah, we're pretty much, I'd have to think about that. Well, we have a New Holland T9 still, but outside of that, yeah, I'd say we're all AGCO. Yeah, I know what you mean, AGCO. Yep. I'd say we're like 99% AGCO. We were an Alice Chalmers farm back in the day. Alice Chalmers tractors, we've always had Gleaner combines, but so that's what we came from, Alice Chalmers. Then we went to New Hollands, and then me and Corey made the change to Fendt. I guess it's been probably 4 years ago. Very happy with the Fendt. I'm not necessarily brand loyal per se. Like, I'd be open to John Deere. I'd be open to really anything as long as it's good. But it is hard to change though, especially from AGCO to John Deere. That's like Apple and iPhone, you know. Yeah, I remember there used to be Alice Chalmers, like Gleaner ACs. Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. I love you too, Liv. Good night. Yeah, I bet you did eat a lot of dust. Yeah. Hope you heard me earlier. My uncle still has an E. I don't think he's had it out in a few years though, but for a while he was trying to use it at least once a year. But yeah, that don't have a cab either, and it has the wooden reel and all that on it. I can't imagine farming like that. If you talk about the other combine running pretty fast, yeah, he's going faster than I am, I can tell you that. I'm only going about 3 miles an hour right now. Hey, Jaden. It was good to see you again. Did you see your grandpa on my channel? Dealer for the Gleaner scene. Yeah, they're really good. We're pretty lucky. Both dealerships that we use are pretty good with us. We've had a really long relationship with Williams Farm Machinery. That's where we get the Gleaners. My grandpa did business with them, my dad, my uncle. We've been working with them for a long time. Well, you have to look a couple videos back, Jaden. We used him in the opening of a video where he took his teeth out. It's pretty funny. So I noticed my phone don't like to focus when I switch to that view, but we have a 230 average, so 230 bushel to the acre is the average here, which for this particular farm is pretty good. This isn't a horrible farm, but it's not one of our best by any means. But that's been pretty standard, really. 230, 240. So that's just what it's been pretty much all harvest. We've only had one field, one of our smaller fields the other day. It was like, I think 28 acres or something like that. It's the only field that didn't make over 200 so far. It was like in the 190 is where it ended up. I will tell him, Jaden. So yeah, it's been a great harvest for both corn and soybeans for us. Been very happy. So I'd imagine everybody in the area has had a good harvest. That'd be my guess. I will try to give you a quick overview of the shape of the field and where we're at, if you can see it on the map. Obviously the colored stuff is where we've already been, but we got to go all the way up here. I don't know why my camera doesn't like to focus onto the iPad, but it just doesn't. I wish it did, because it's nice if you guys can kind of see what we're doing and follow along, but it just will not focus on it. I also have the camera system up here where I can see the top of my bin. That's like my backup camera, so that's out of the back of the combine. This is the cleaning shoe. You probably can't tell what the hell's going on in that. And then this one is on the end of my auger. When I'm dumping into the grain cart, you can see inside the grain cart or the semi, whatever you're dumping in. Yeah, I mean, I personally don't dry it because I'm out here in the field, but yes, we dry our own corn. My brother-in-law is back at the grain elevator, and he's in charge of that. He does the drying. Him and my dad helps him out. My dad will run the dryer at night, some nights, and so back in like 2001, my dad and my uncle bought an old ADM grain elevator that's right here. It's like a half a mile basically from our farm. And it sits next door to the ethanol plant. And so it has more storage than we need as a farm, so we rent out the remaining storage to the ethanol plant. So we dry our corn there. We dry all the corn that the ethanol plant buys. We dry and store for them as well. So on the busy days, our trucks sit in line just like everybody else. So yeah, that's kind of our situation. We work with the ethanol plant and we farm as well. Yeah, that's your grandpa, Jaden, not mine. But if he keeps doing that, it's like, hey, if he keeps doing that, I'm putting him on YouTube. So, but yeah, the whole grain situation can, kind of, like the last few nights, like last night, for example, we had to quit at 7 o'clock because the wet storage was full at the elevator. And, they got to be dried out by morning for all the customers. So it does, like, kind of hold us back a little bit on the farm side, but it just is what it is. Otherwise, we'd probably be getting close to done by now. So that's kind of our setup. Then we do have grain storage at our farm, but that's where all our soybeans go, and we filled the place up. We haven't kept corn there in over 20 years now. So we have basically like a bean plant and a corn plant for storage. Works out pretty good for the most part. Like I said, the wet storage thing can kind of slow us down out here in the field, but oh well. And again, I know you can't see it the greatest, but we're way up here, so the grain cart's having to drive down to these headlands, all the way down here, cross that ditch, and load the trucks up in here. So that's kind of why we get in this waiting situation once in a while. And it's pretty full. Well, you can see my pile up there. And we're about to go downhill, so I wanted to get it dumping off before I moved. I already have enough corn on my roof. Oh. Come on, auto steer. So it's not that he's slow or anything, he just has a long travel to dump. I wouldn't say we never do any corn on corn, but pretty rarely. Only if we're trying to like even out our rotation a little bit. Because since we do wheat as well, sometimes it gets a little out of balance. So we will do corn on corn a little bit just for that reason, but it's not a practice of ours by any means. We just started growing wheat 2 seasons ago. We've done it a few times in the past, but we never like got into it really. Like when my dad was running things, we tried it a few times, but then we got back away from it. But with the white mold situation we were having in the soybeans, we thought that was just another thing to kind of break up the cycle of it. So between that and the 30-inch rows, those are kind of the 2 ways we're trying to mitigate the white mold. Yeah, that's not real good wheat for sure. I get down in that low ground that we were just in, and man, the corn, you would think I'm running really tough soybeans, as hard as that's going through. It's so crazy to me. I probably will take my new gearbox out. Yeah, I wouldn't grow wheat either if that's the yield. We get more like this year we're right around 120 bushel wheat, but I think if you get 100 or over, you're doing pretty good here in Michigan. But I'm not real experienced with it. But I would say that's what you're shooting for probably, is 100 bushel wheat. According to the guy that I was talking to on my live stream earlier from Germany, man, they knock it out of the ballpark there, like 170 or 180 bushel wheat. I'm pretty sure is what he said. So if that's true, wow. But I find it interesting when I get in like them harder running areas. I don't know if you can see the amount of cob that's sitting up top right now. Like, my sample's pretty clean all day, except for when I get in them areas where it just hammers through, I get a lot of cob. Wow, we've been going for an hour and a half. Still got almost 30 people watching. That's kind of crazy. Appreciate it, all the people watching. you have to do anything special when you're doing that much corn on, corn on corn that long? Doesn't that bring on more disease and stuff? Thought that was always the argument against corn on corn, right? Acres left. We had, at the start of this morning, we had 900 acres left. So we're probably just under 800 now left. Because I know we've ran over 100 acres today, so. So yeah, still a ways to go, but it's not a ton, really. So some of my long form videos that will be coming out, I think you guys will enjoy. Tomorrow will be the rotor gearbox change, as I said. We demoed the Fendt Ideal 9T. That will be coming sometime, I don't know when, but I recorded all that. Pretty sure all my T81 stuff is already out on the Gleaner T81. And then we've had just some smooth operating days too, so some of the dailies that I've done, that I've recorded, aren't real exciting, to be honest. But I know you guys will like the day the Fendt was out here. That was a pretty good video. Okay. That's interesting. That's a long time to, keep doing corn on corn. But good for you if it's working out. I just know that's what they always say. I'm not saying you can't do it or something. I am a farmer, but I'm not an expert. Yeah, we spread lime, gypsum. We use some chicken manure. It's like composted chicken litter. Then obviously like potash, DAP. No, I don't think we use much DAP anymore, but so we get that in the manure. Lime. If I already said lime, I don't know. I used to do our fertilizing program. I'd run the Terrigator. We have a Terrigator 8103. I used to kind of run that program for a while. I used to do our spraying as well. We don't have a sprayer anymore. We might add that back someday. Yeah, we don't use really any liquid fertilizer either. Man, more people keep joining. For as long as we went, I'm surprised everybody's still here. I probably won't go a whole lot longer though. My battery on my phone, well, still got a lot of battery left, so around 50%. So I'm guessing the video quality isn't horrible. It just kind of depends, honestly, on the wet storage, but we were told earlier that we could run as late as we want tonight, so it kind of really depends. We've ran all night many times. We probably won't do that tonight. My guess will probably go to like midnight or so. It's 9:30 here right now, so If I had to guess, like midnight, maybe 2 o'clock in the morning at the latest. Kind of depends on what time we want to start tomorrow. Sorry, I kind of have to keep my ladder up so I don't run over corn with it. Yeah, it all just depends. It depends on the year, depends on the weather, depends on the situation. Unless our dryer guy is called. I haven't talked to him, but maybe he's called and gave us a time. I don't know. Yes, we do run the farm now. We have for, I don't know. How long has it been? 5 years probably. Somewhere in there. It's kind of neat. I worked for, growing up, I worked for my grandpa. I worked for my dad. And now we get to run it, so kind of cool. I mean, I am just powered right out going through that low ground. It's unreal. I mean, the yield does get up to about 270 right in there, but I just can't keep up with the grain cart. I don't know, if it keeps running like this for me, I don't know as if I'm in favor of running much later, to be honest with you. It's really frustrating to move this slow. And you're not really doing that good of a job. You're blowing probably a decent amount of corn out of the back of the machine, too. So, although my computer's not telling me I am, so maybe I'm not, but like I can see my sieves right there, and they're always full, so. Yeah, thanks. It was pretty cool. I'm probably going to let him pass me again. I'm trying to get out of his way. Like, that's the thing. I'm just kind of holding up progress. I mean, it's better than no machine running, but I'm just going so freaking slow. It's unreal. You guys, I don't know if you can really tell in the stream how slow I'm going, but the bad part is I'm probably going to take out my new rotor gearbox running corn. It's hammering through that hard. It's unreal. No, you're 100% right. It's all this plant material that goes through my head. That's what it is. There's just no getting around that. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging at all, but it's our corn plants are just so massive. Like, he's not struggling at all with that Cornhead, because he's not taking in any trash. If you probably can't see it, but if you really look at what comes out of the back of his machine, it's just husk. Where if you look at the back of mine, it's the entire plant pretty much coming out of the back of my machine. Well, I wish I was doing 4 or 4.5. I'm doing more like 3.5 tops, which is just unacceptable, but I don't really have a choice, so yeah, if you are a gleaner guy, I highly would turn you away from the command head. There's a guy in here earlier from my area, actually, who runs one, and he said he's not really having that issue, but So good for him, but my opinion is stay the heck away from the Command Series heads. Can't say that enough, and I probably say it too much. The people at Gleaner will not like me, but sorry. We had one of Gleaner's tech or AGCOs, I guess, techs out a few years back, and he was kind of high up on like their tech food chain. He'd work on like the big harvest out west with like their maintenance crew or whatever the AGCO must send out there, something like that. That's what he said, anyways. But so he's told us he'd kind of run the issues up the food chain, and I don't know if anything ever happened with it. Probably not. We were trying to get them to help us out on some of the parts costs, but I don't think they really helped us out at all. Because some of the if you're running like wetter conditions, like in a rain, let's say, the leaves will build up underneath the plastics on the snouts, or snoots, however you say it, and it will throw your gathering chains and cause other damage up in there. My brother's old head he like destroyed it multiple times. So we wanted some help, because it's obviously a defect, their defect, poor manufacturing, whatever, or design, I guess. We were trying to get them to cover some of the parts. From what I remember, they didn't, so that kind of rubbed us the wrong way, but I mean, whatever. It is what it is. I don't want to sound like I'm trashing an AGCO or Gleaner, but that is true and that happens. So we're obviously still running them. They make good combines. Yeah, I remember the N series. The N6 was the first shouldn't say it's the first combine I ever rode in, but I do remember riding in it when I was a little kid. Ours was not a great one. It had a lot of problems. I don't know exactly what the problems were because I was so young, but I just remember the guys at the time, like my dad, my uncle, and the other people that were working on the farm at the time, they would just always be complaining about that N6. Had some sort of issue with it. But I would have been under 10 years old when that was on our farm, and so I know I rode in it, and I do remember it, but never operated it. My dad or my uncle could really give a pretty good Gleaner history lesson if anyone was ever interested in that. They've been very involved with Gleaner, and we've always ran them. Like back in those times, like with the N series and stuff, I'm pretty sure like they kind of helped like Gleaner a little bit. Kind of with the development and stuff. I'm not trying to make them sound like some sort of a big deal or anything, but they did something like that. Can't really remember exactly what it was, but I know they were kind of like pretty involved with Gleaner back in those days. Yeah, the N6 did look big back then, but it wouldn't look very big now. I remember the rotor, like the cage was really small. I remember being inside of it as a little kid. Like I remember they were always pulling the rotor on it. Like, it seems like a lot anyways. Maybe it's just because I was a kid, but... My uncle's like, he's more of a gleaner wizard probably than anybody. He's always been into like modifying his like cage setup and rotor setup. You know, where we don't mess with them a whole lot, me and my brother. Although I did just change my setup slightly when I had my rotor out the other day, but my uncle's always been into that, figuring out how to get better thrusting and more capacity and being able to run higher speeds. And I'm sure he's still into all that, if I had to guess. Yeah, I always have to dump in this low ground and then I can't. Just sitting here running 100% power the entire time. Like, I can't even keep my unload going. I can't do anything, skis. I gotta quit dumping in this low ground if at all possible. I'm powered out the entire time. I feel like I can't even dump. Yeah, I mean, after the corn is dried, it goes in the bins, yes. But it gets dried first. I'll be honest, I'm probably not going to run a whole lot longer. It's just really no point. I'm probably not doing that good of a job either. Going 2 miles an hour, powered out the whole time. I get out of that low ground and then I can pick up a little bit of speed. I don't want to sound too whiny, but I've been battling this for a few hours now and I'm pretty much over it, so.
Copy that. Yeah, whatever you want, I guess. Want to catch a ride back to the truck? One of the trucks.
It's just getting pretty ridiculous at this point. You're loaded, skis. But yeah, this live stream is probably going to give Gleaner a bad look. I mean, what a sad state of affairs. You can't. With an S98, you gotta go like 2.5 mile an hour running corn. That's just insane. Yeah, I will. I'm getting I don't know if I'll get it this year yet, or if I'll wait till next year. My salesman's looking for one right now to see what's out there, what he can find for me. I want a North Star. I kind of told him, I said, hey, if you can't find one immediately, you know, I can probably battle it out for the rest of the season. But honestly, if he called me tomorrow and said, hey, I got a line on one that you can get, I'm probably going to tell him, get it here. Like yesterday. It anymore. I have never ran a Case IH. No. I've never been offered a demo on one. Well, that's years and years and years ago. I would have been in high school, I think, or just graduated. We did get to demo a Case for a day. But that was a long time ago. I don't remember the model of it. and don't really even remember if we liked it or not. Same with the John Deere. I ran a John Deere about that same time. Don't remember which one it was. Don't remember a whole lot about it. I remember I didn't hate it, but also I was probably, 18 years old or something like that. So what did I know, There's a John Deere dealer in the area that's, has tried to entice us a few different times over the years, but we've never made the change. We were seriously looking at getting one of their tractors recently to do some tillage with. Yeah, probably could. I don't know much about Case, honestly. I don't think I would like their in-cab technology, just because we have a New Holland tractor and it's the same, CNH is Case New Holland, so I know their technology and stuff like that. I don't think I'd enjoy that, and I don't think I'd like where their rotors set up. But I'm sure they're good machines. Hey, how you doing? And this, I'll be honest, this is not giving Gleaner S98 a good look. I fully understand that too. But it's capable of so much more if I had a Cornhead on it, That's just the truth. I'm not just saying that as a Gleaner guy. My brother has lapped me twice in the last hour and 48 minutes. Maybe even 3 times, I don't really remember. I've had to let him pass me. I think if we were ever to switch away from Gleaner, at this point, it would probably be for the ideal. If we were ever going to. But I don't know as if I ever really see that happening. I don't know. It could really change the way we operate if we did do that someday. Go to one machine instead of 2. Then it frees up the other guy to do other jobs. Could probably get rid of a truck driver as well. And yeah, I mean, it could just make us more efficient overall as a farm if we ever went that route. But them ideals, we don't. I think we need to see them out for. I mean, I know they've been around, but I don't know. Are they really good machines? They're very impressive when you run them. I can tell you that, and you'll see in the video when that comes out. But that was one day, Oh my god, yeah, the unload speed. Holy cow, dude. I don't know if the video will do it justice or not, but that was so amazing. Like, almost unbelievable. Well, it had a 12-row head on it, and we had our cruise control on it set at 4.5, right? So I was just running it there most of the time. Then towards the end, I was like, let's just see what it does, because it's only running like 80% power tops, might spike up to 85% once in a while. So then I bumped it up to 5, same thing. Like, it didn't even you know, didn't even hardly use any power. So I mean, it was an impressive running machine too. You know, I was running 200 and probably 40 bushel corn with a 12 row head at 5 mile an hour, no problem. I mean, I feel like that's pretty freaking impressive. So that's the thing, you know, I've had quite a few people ask me, how's it compare to Gleaner? And, you know, it's like, this might sound kind of bad, but I'm like, it's just, honestly, there's no sense in comparing them because it's not even the same ball game. Yeah, it just seemed like a whole different thing. I don't know how to really even explain it. You'd have to run one. It's crazy. So we're curving out around a waterway again. So now I got to get up here. I'm sure I'll have some rows to cut into eventually. Pick back up, maybe not. Okay, yeah, I see what happened. I'll just take these first 8. So yeah, watch if you're interested in those type of combines. You're definitely going to want to check out that video. I did some filming from outside of it when my brother was running it. And then I ran it for a decent amount of time too. I ran it for a couple hours, I think, 2-3 hours. Something like that. I don't really remember how much I filmed inside of it when I was running, but I know I did, so. And I'm not trying to slight my Gleaner at all, but man, that's a totally different machine. But dang, folks, we're pushing in on a 2-hour stream here. I wouldn't have thought we would have made it this long. Still got 30-some people on. Yeah, I don't know when that video will be out, though, just so you know, it's not out yet. It'll be out. I have a couple shorts, I think, on my page from it, but the longer video won't be out probably for a few days, maybe even a week, something like that, but you'll see it when it comes out. We don't really have our video process dialed in yet. My wife's busy. We homeschool our daughter, and she cooks dinners for the farms too, for the farm. So not every night, but on the days she does, she can't do a lot of editing, and so we're a little behind on her releases right now, but that's probably actually a good thing, because then there'll still be stuff to watch when harvest is over for a little bit, maybe. But she may also get caught up eventually. I don't know. We like to dump as we drive from chunk to chunk if we can too. It's one way to keep the grain cart ahead of schedule. I always wonder how many other people do that. You have to have a good grain cart guy to pull it off safely. Which we do. Old Skis, he's the man over there. Yeah, she's doing pretty good so far. She's only gonna get better, you know, she's never done it before. So she'll keep getting better and better and learning some editing tricks. And it's just the process of like getting the footage, you know, onto the computer when I get home late at night. And then she has to have time, you know, to start editing it, putting it all together. It's just, we just haven't really dialed in the process. You know, is she going to do it in my office or in the house? And, you know, it's a little more complicated than you think. Because my brother carries a camera too. Skis carries one of mine extras. And, you know, the videos are made mostly of my footage, but we try to get the other people in and when we can, when it makes sense. But that's a lot of data transfer times when I get home. Some nights I don't feel like doing it. When I first started, I was doing it all right here in the combine seat during soybean harvest. I was doing it all myself, right on my phone. But I never got to enjoy a single minute of my day, so I finally told my wife, like, man, you got to really help me out and do these. We run 4 trucks. 2 of them haul 1,000 bushel. The other 2 haul around 850. So we don't have anything like too massive, but you know, we don't have like those big Titan trailers or anything like that. We buy cheap trucks and cheap trailers. Then it's also kind of hard, like, because me and my brother do the same job, so it's like we try to include each other's footage, but we're both doing the same thing, and then we end up talking about the same thing a lot too. Bruce? Yeah, right. Now, where is Bruce? You should be out here, Vern. Get out here. You can sit in this gleaner and go 2.5 miles an hour. Yeah, Bruce, he's always worked with us, as you know, but he's kind of taken a step back, doing family stuff. That's what it sounds like to me.
No more roads over here.
10-4. Hey Vern, come out here and count these rows for me. I can't count. I barely graduated high school. Got another washout. The washouts really haven't been that bad this year because we didn't have a ton of rain, a ton of heavy rains. You're broke again? What happened now, Vern? I've had my share of breakdowns this year too, so don't feel too bad. But I'm sure you're in a great mood, knowing you. Hopefully you're seeing some good corn out there, Vern. Okay, trying to figure out where we're at in this field, how many rows I want to count over. So we're getting close to the north, the north edge. We're getting close up here, so we got that other waterway. So I don't think I want to count too many rows over. Guess I'll get a good look at it when I turn around here. Yeah, I feel you there. It took me a while when we first got our 8 rows. I kept counting 6 counts, and And I kept wondering why we're off on our guest rows. I'm like, oh yeah, we're running 8 rows now. Oh, let's see. Yeah, we'll try to do maybe like a 48.
You're all set, unless we need a ride. What are we doing?
Yeah, okay. Well, your yield's too high. That's why you're spitting corn out the back, Vern. Can't handle all that corn. All right, I got to count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. And as I explained earlier, I have to count out loud, otherwise I lose track. Yeah, I think 48 is going to be about perfect.
Am I waiting or am I going?
Have you got much done though, Vern, or still kind of getting started?
I don't hear right.
I'm just hoping I might run into some, like, it's not really a headland, but like where he curves around this waterway. I'm hoping I don't run into the curve here. I don't think I'm going to, but... Yeah, I've been struggling with different things this year as well, Vern. So you're not the only one. I've had the rotor gearbox out of my combine twice. The first time it just fell off the side of my combine randomly. I'm taking in way too much trash in my Cornhead, which is robbing all my horsepower. So that's why I have to go so slow. A few different things like that. Some of it's just dumb, like the Cornhead thing. That's why we all love farming, right? Gotcha. Well, I don't really have any advice for you. I'm not a John Deere guy, as you know. Hopefully you get something figured out there. If I could help you out, I would. But if you ever need anything, you know you can holler. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for saying hi. I don't see it as often as I used to. Outside, I try to honk when I go by, though. Hope you're doing well. And if you ever need anything, you can always holler. If everyone wonders who the heck I'm talking to, he lives right here in our area, another farmer. Yes, every day is a struggle. That's a fact. Well, I would kind of think that might be my problem, too. But I just put a new air filter in, so I know that's not my problem anyways. As far as all this horsepower that I don't have. Yep, I need a new Cornhead is pretty much the bottom line. Yes, sir. Anytime. Too bad I don't know anything about John Deere's to help you work through your problem, though. If I get lucky, because it does look like as we're working our way north here, looks like this corn is a little less robust. So maybe I'll get lucky and be able to gain some speed. We shall see, though. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Vern. We do live in a good spot, huh? There's a lot of helpful people around, I feel like, for the most part. Hopefully my YouTube channel isn't so bad it embarrasses our small community. Perfect. Just don't fire me if you come be my supervisor. Yeah, we are making some decent progress here. For as slow as I'm moving, at least he's still making good ground speed. Because man, if this field was just up to me, I don't even think I'd be halfway across this field yet. And we got a dandy of a washout right here. This didn't used to be like this right here. I almost don't really want to drive through it. It's deep enough. I might put one tire in and see what happens here. But if I go down as far as I think I am going to, I should probably cut around. Ooh, boy. Man, that's a hole right there. Yeah, that didn't used to be there. Now I can't even get straight. There we go. If I wasn't empty, I wouldn't have went through that. If you have any weight on in your bin, you're not going to want to drive through that washout. It's quite deep. what would you change to if you're going to switch combines? Is that what you're talking about? And skis, you're definitely going to want to stay out of that. Well, good. Yeah, I'm just recording. You know, I'm not trying to do anything like special or crazy. Just trying to be entertaining, really. And people like watching farm stuff, so. If the channel did well enough, which I don't really expect that it would, you know, it could be a job for my wife. Kind of manage the channel. We homeschool our daughter, so, you know, she's always home doing that. And if the channel ever really took off, it'd be a way for her to make a little bit of money for herself. And so that's kind of part of the thinking. And all I have to do is record what I do every day, pretty much. And not say anything too stupid. But alright, folks, it's been 2 hours and 15 minutes. Can't believe it's been that long. I've been holding this phone. Definitely need to come up with another way of live streaming. So I think when I get to the end, I'm going to end this stream, and we'll probably do another one tomorrow, like in the afternoon, and then I think a nightly one's good. Just because that's when most people are on watching, so probably just do 2 again tomorrow, 1 during the day, 1 at night, plus the regular videos. And so there's plenty of stuff coming for everybody that watches. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider it if you like farming content. Oh, going old school? Alright. I kind of like that. But yeah, I don't want to badger people to subscribe, but if you like this type of stuff, live streams and, you know, long farm videos, that's what we're doing. And willing to do more, like with some drones and stuff like that eventually, maybe by next spring when we're planting. So yeah, keep checking out the channel, always open to suggestions. Hey, thanks for watching. No problem. Look for it again tomorrow. It's a good conversation. Thanks for chatting. So yeah, it's been pretty much all positive feedback so far. So gonna keep going and see where it goes. I'm kind of just doing my own thing. I'm not trying to copy, you know, the people that are already doing it necessarily. I have my own style. I'm my own person. So what you see is what you get. And Yeah, you guys would be cussing too much, Vern. That's a big adjustment for me too, but I try not to cuss too much. Yeah, that's too cold for me, buddy. I don't know what it's supposed to get down to here tonight. I'm always doing YouTube stuff now, so I don't look at the weather like I used to. I don't even know what the heck's going on anymore. Yeah, so, like with me, what you see is what you get. I'm not trying to be smart. I'm not trying to teach people everything. If you have questions, I answer them. I'm not that smart. I just farm for a living, and so that's what you're gonna see on my channel. So I appreciate everybody watching. Catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks. My first what? Before I get off, I guess. This is not my first live stream, no. You probably can't find the other ones. They're private after they end. But I have other videos, Vern, if you haven't been watching them and you want to check them out. Just go to my channel. You'll see everything I've done. Oh, yeah, I agree. Zach. Yeah, I'm pretty blessed to be doing what I do. And I don't know, just kind of recording what I do. And if people like it, sweet. So, alright, that's enough. Been going way too long. We'll do it again tomorrow, folks. Catch you later.